Breaking news! The AFC North is about to explode, and the Cleveland Browns are right in the eye of the storm. What's happening right now in Berea, Ohio, is pure electricity and, frankly, a little scary. Not just for Browns fans, but for the entire division. If you thought the chaos of last season was a big deal, buckle up, because what's happening now could change everything. But before we go any further, please like if you've been a Cleveland Browns fan for over 20 years. It's great to see fans of all ages here. Some of us even watched the first game. If possible, comment something like, "Let's go, Browns. We're going to the Super Bowl this year." Yes, my friends, I dream about it. Let's start with the division's biggest pressure point, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Believe it or not, Mike Tomlin, yes, the same Mike Tomlin who has been the face of stability in Pittsburgh for nearly 2 decades, is suddenly faced with a future filled with uncertainty. For a franchise that prided itself on consistency, the rumors are getting louder. This could be the year Tomlin gets fired. Yes, you heard right. Fired. Think about it. No playoff wins in 8 seasons. 8. For a team with 6 Super Bowls under its belt, that's not just unacceptable, it's catastrophic. The Steelers are stuck in a cycle of mediocrity, finishing 9-8, 10-7, falling out of the playoffs faster than anyone expected, and this fan base? They're fed up. And what's fueling this chaos? Look no further than the quarterback position. For the 4th straight season, the Steelers will have a different starting quarterback in Week 1. That's not just a coincidence, that's organizational failure. Whether it's Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, or maybe Aaron Rodgers if he suddenly decides he's not retiring after all, the fact remains, no one knows who will start. And if it's Rodgers and it blows up in their face, oh, it's going to get ugly. Fast. Imagine waiting all offseason for Rodgers, only for him to flame out, or worse, retire after signing. Tomlin's job could hinge entirely on that gamble. But the drama doesn't stop in Pittsburgh. Oh no. Slide over to Cincinnati and you'll find a team on the brink of defensive collapse. The Trey Hendrickson saga is spiraling out of control. This is a guy who was quietly promised a new contract if he produced. He did, back-to-back seasons with 17.5 sacks. And what's the Bengals' response? Sorry, we don't have the money. Why? Because they waited too long to pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and now the price tag has skyrocketed. Classic case of kicking the can down the road until the road runs out. Here's the scary part for Bengals fans. Hendrickson accounted for half of Cincinnati's sack total last year. Half. If they lose him, whether to a holdout, trade, or outright release, they are absolutely cooked. Dead last in sacks is a very real possibility. And remember, this is a defense that already finished tied for 25th last season in sacks. Without Hendrickson, it's over. No pass rush, no pressure, no chance. And if you think I'm exaggerating, consider this. 1/3 of all the pressures the Bengals generated last season came from Hendrickson alone. Remove him from the equation and this team becomes a paper tiger, especially in a division as cutthroat as the AFC North. Meanwhile, Baltimore is sitting back, quietly being, well, Baltimore. Reliable, consistent, predictable, maybe too predictable. Here's the deal. If the Ravens win the AFC North this year, they'll be the first team in the division's history to win it 3 straight years. But the script feels familiar. Double-digit wins? Check. Host a playoff game? Check. Bow out before the Super Bowl? Check. It's the same movie on repeat. Look, Ravens fans won't complain about 12 wins and a playoff victory. But let's be real, the ceiling feels capped. If you're a Browns fan, you almost envy that kind of stability. Almost. And now we circle back to where the real fireworks are about to go off, right here in Cleveland. Buckle up, because this quarterback room might be the most volatile in the entire NFL. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. Oh, and maybe Deshaun Watson if he miraculously returns from his second Achilles surgery. This is chaos. Beautiful, glorious, terrifying chaos. Let's be honest, Joe Flacco feels like the Week 1 starter. He's the safe pick, the steady hand. But the man is 40 years old and hasn't played a full 17-game season since 2017. The odds that he makes it through the entire year without getting benched or injured? Slim to none. And if Flacco stumbles, or Father Time finally catches him, what then? Do you throw Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders into the fire? Because here's the kicker. That fire might be in London. Yep, Week 5, Browns versus Vikings, in London. Do you really want a rookie quarterback making his first NFL start on foreign soil? Talk about setting someone up to fail. So the likely scenario? Flacco holds the reins through the first 6 weeks. London or not, it's hard to justify tossing a rookie into that kind of spotlight. But after that, all bets are off. Week 7 against the Miami Dolphins back in Cleveland feels like the pivot point. That's where the door swings open for Gabriel or Sanders to step in. And let's talk about that decision for a second. If it's Kevin Stefanski calling the shots, and it is, then Dillon Gabriel probably gets the first crack. Why? Simple. Draft capital. The Browns used a third-round pick on Gabriel. That kind of investment means something. But if you ask the fans, a lot of them are screaming for Shedeur Sanders. The swagger, the leadership, the spotlight. He brings a buzz this team hasn't had at quarterback in decades. But here's the nightmare scenario. What if neither rookie is ready? What if Pickett is still hanging around, somehow surviving roster cuts, quietly waiting for his shot? Do you seriously carry 4 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster? The logistics are insane. Do you risk waiving Pickett and pray he clears waivers so you can stash him on the practice squad? Do you trade him? Cut him outright? No answer feels good. No answer feels safe. The truth is, this is peak Browns. The most Browns thing ever. A quarterback carousel spinning so fast you need a seatbelt just to watch. And let's be honest, this season might not solve anything. If we're being brutally real, the quarterback who leads this team 3 years from now, he probably isn't even on the roster yet. So here's the question for you. Yeah, you watching this right now. Who do you think starts the most games for the Browns this season? Is it Flacco? Gabriel? Sanders? Maybe Pickett somehow sneaks in there? Or do you believe in miracles and think Deshaun Watson comes back? I want your take. Drop your prediction in the comments right now, because I guarantee, come January, we're all going to come back to this moment and see who called it right. And if you think the quarterback carousel is the only major storyline for the Cleveland Browns heading into 2025, think again. Because beyond the madness under center, there are layers of drama, tension, and crucial decisions being made that could redefine the entire direction of this franchise. Let's pivot for a moment to the reality of the schedule. It's not just about who starts week 1. It's about how the Browns survive a brutal opening stretch that could break weaker teams before the leaves even change colors. After opening the season with winnable but dangerous games, the Browns hit a rough patch. Weeks 4 and 5 could be the tipping point, facing a daunting trip to London to play the Minnesota Vikings, an international showcase game that brings with it every logistical nightmare you can imagine. Jet lag, time zone adjustments, media obligations, unfamiliar turf. It's all stacked against them. If Flacco falters in London, the decision tree gets gnarly real fast. Do you come back from the UK and throw Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders into the fire against the Pittsburgh Steelers just 7 days later? Because let's be honest, no rookie quarterback should be forced to prep for TJ Watt with half a week of real practice after an overseas trip. You do that, you're setting someone up to fail. Plain and simple. But hold up, it gets even juicier. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that Flacco manages to hold the fort through week 6. That's when things really heat up. Week 7. The Browns are back in Cleveland after nearly a month away from home. The opponent? The Miami Dolphins. A team loaded with speed, talent, and a defense that loves to bring exotic blitzes. This is the moment. If a quarterback change is coming, this is where it happens. A home game, a full week of normal practice, and the crowd at your back. The table is set, and here's where the debate splits the fan base right down the middle. On one side, you've got the start Dillon Gabriel camp. Logical, analytical, trusting the process. They'll tell you, look, the Browns used a third-round pick on this guy. They believe in him. He fits the system. Let's see what he's got. But on the other side, the Shedeur Sanders crowd. And they are loud. They're passionate. They're the ones filling your comment sections, lighting up Twitter, chanting his name. They don't care about draft capital. They care about results, swagger, and leadership. Shedeur has that in spades. The real question no one wants to answer is this. What if they're both wrong? What if neither Gabriel nor Sanders is ready for NFL speed? What if we're staring down another lost season built on false hope and shaky quarterback play? Because